Hey there guys, I am the Six Machine and welcome back to another Warhammer video. With the Heresy well on the way and the Age of Darkness box presumably releasing sometime this year, maybe even in the summer, it seems that GW have decided to run through a few of the rules and abilities that each legion will be bringing to the game in an effort to perhaps help people decide which legion to throw their loyalties in with when the game does release. And of course, being a Dark Angels player, I already know who I will be painting my models up as, but as they are the first legion, this is where GW have started with the set of articles. So let's take a quick look at some of the unique abilities and rules and mechanics that you can expect to make use of if you decide to join the hallowed ranks of the first. Now, Dark Angels from a lore and a fluff perspective have always been the almost prototype or primogenitor of the other legions, with experience fighting in close combat, shooting, riding bikes, infantry, mass vehicle assaults. They can pretty much do everything pretty well. Like, there are other legions that are slightly better at a specific focus, but Dark Angels are very much a good all-rounder in sort of every area. And this flexibility in their legion makeup is pushed through in the Heresy game with the inclusion of the fairly well known by Dark Angel players anyway, Hexagrammaton. And these are 6 wings, 2 of which you may know if you play 40k, but they are the Deathwing, the Ravenwing, the Stormwing, the Dreadwing, the Ironwing, and the Firewing. And they are essentially their own unique play styles in the game and their own unique sort of ways of carrying out combat in the lore, so they have a unique set of bonuses which you can give to your army. I'm not entirely sure based on this whether it is done unit by unit or if it's done at the start of the game and you choose one for your entire army. Like, fluff wise, I could actually see it going either way because the wings do work in concert together a lot, so I'm not sure how they're going to play it. I do think there may be a chance of it being a bit OP if you could do it unit by unit, but we will have to see. But certainly you can choose one of these abilities to go on your army and you get those abilities over the course of the game. And they show off 2 of them today, the Stormwing and the Ironwing. Now, the Stormwing is very much a generic wing compared to the others in many ways. It's got a focus on set battles and protracted combats and just like the standard way of carrying out warfare and the humble bolter. Lots and lots of bolters. The benefit for using the Stormwing Hexagrammaton is that all units with the Stormwing rule get +1 to hit when they fire with bolters, combi bolters, or bolt pistols. So this is, whilst maybe not the most powerful guns you have in your army, it is going to be a huge amount of the firepower that you can bring to bear. And 20-man tactical squads will now be hitting on 2s instead of 3s, and it's just going to make your anti-infantry firepower so much more effective as your opponent closes in on you. They also state that it works on reactions, so as far as I know, the reaction system is sort of like the stratagem system in 40k, and I believe it includes Overwatch style mechanics, so you could potentially be hitting on 5s in Overwatch rather than 6. Someone correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I know the reaction system is sort of a toned down, cut down, but similar in idea system to the stratagem mechanic from 40k, as we will see in a little bit in this video. The Ironwing, on the other hand, comprises the heavy vehicles, the tanks, and in the current Heresy game, this is helped with various rules that allow you to take things like Predators as a troop's choice in various rites of war, for example. And in this new game, the Ironwing rule allows you to reroll hit rolls of 1 if you shoot at an enemy vehicle, and also allows you to make snapshots at BS2 rather than BS1. So this is going to be hugely helpful for helping you take out enemy tanks and avoiding those really annoying ones when you absolutely need that las cannon or that melter shot to hit. And then snapshots at BS2 means that if you are shaken or shooting at a flyer or moving and firing more than one weapon, you will still be hitting on 5s rather than 6s. So again, this is going to be a huge buff to your army, albeit one that is going to help you take out enemy vehicles rather than the anti-infantry focus that the Stormwing seems to have. It is honestly such a cool mechanic, and it's going to really allow you to tailor your army to deal with not only whatever threat you think you might come up against, but also allow you to build your army in a very fluffy way, sticking with the theme of the various wings, but knowing that you're going to be able to buff them to keep that level of power and effectiveness that they should have to be competitive in the game, but also that makes sense for them to have lore-wise, and it kind of really will let you to build an army that makes sense with what you are seeing on the tabletop and really go all in on those kind of units. So I'm really, really glad to see that they've done this sort of multi-layered buff for the Dark Angels rather than just one set rule. And I really can't wait to see what the other 4 wings get when we do finally see those. The other thing they show off for the Dark Angels is a specific reaction, which, as I said, is, I think, related to the stratagems of 9th and possibly things like Overwatch, in that you use them at a key point in the game and it gives you a unique one-off buff to do something that you wouldn't normally be able to do. And the Dark Angels one, the Angels of Death, is used when an enemy unit declares a charge on you. And the unit being charged has to take a leadership test, so your unit has to take a leadership test. If it's passed, your unit gains fear and fearless, and if it's failed, you instead gain fear and stubborn. So there's no way to fail this really. You get a benefit whether you pass or fail the leadership, it's just one of them is a little bit better. Now, these are potentially some very potent rules, assuming they stay similar to how they are now. Fearless essentially means that you don't need to worry about morale, you can just ignore it. And stubborn means that whilst you can still be forced to take a leadership test, you never suffer any negatives, so you don't suffer -1 or -2 if you lose the combat or whatever. You always go at your base leadership, so you should always be rolling at 8 or 9, depending on whether you've got like a character or something in the squad. Fear, on the other hand, is a rule that forces your opponent to take a leadership test, and then if they fail it, they get their weapon skill reduced. It's down to 1 at the moment, but with the new to hit chart that they've shown off, I don't know whether it will take it all the way down to 1 or maybe just reduce it by 1. We'll have to wait and see. But either way, it's going to mean that your opponent, if they fail that test, is going to be hitting you on probably 5s, maybe even 6s, depending on the unit. So it's going to go a long way to helping your squad survive when they get charged by an enemy. So I think this is going to be a really, really good reaction if your unit is being charged and it's, you know, sat on an objective or at a key location and you absolutely 100% cannot afford to lose it. This is going to be a huge boost in the survivability of your squad, and even if you do lose a few, it's going to make it much easier for your squad to stick around and keep that objective rather than potentially moving off it and starting to run off the board. It's a somewhat unflashy reaction, I guess. It's not super exciting really, and I don't think it's going to be one that you use every single game. But when you do need it, I think this is going to be a reaction that is going to be hugely impactful in blunting an enemy charge and just letting you keep those all-important objectives or key areas of the battlefield for as long as you possibly can, which is going to help you win the game at the end of the day. So there we go, some really exciting, to be honest, really fluffy and potentially quite powerful rules coming for the Dark Angels in the Age of Darkness. And there is, of course, still plenty more to see, with at least 4 more Hexagrammaton wings to be shown off as well. So I'm really excited to see the rest of the rules and see how these stack up against the other legions that are coming to the game. But what do you make of what we've seen today? Are they good? Or were you hoping for something a little bit more, or something a little bit different for the Dark Angels? Let me know in the comments below, and as always, thank you very much for watching. Please do like and subscribe for more Warhammer content from me, but until next time, I'll catch you later, guys.